Welcome to another Running Tales podcast, the podcast that tells extraordinary stories of everyday runners. I'm Craig Lewis, and this week I've been talking to Damian Lai. Well, just this weekend, Damian completed his 49th marathon, and he hopes to complete 100 down the line to join that exclusive club. But not so long ago, Damian was extremely unfit. He ended up in hospital with a virus that nearly killed him. These days, he's a very different Damian. He's currently attempting to raise funds for people in Ukraine and has already run over 1,000 miles in that effort. He also completed the London Marathon dressed as an ice cream, just 3 minutes outside of what would have been a world record time. I also spoke to Damian about how he works with his local running group, the same running group that got him going on this journey in the first place. It's a fantastic conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. And I started off by asking him about how he got on with his marathon event this weekend.
I was doing my 49th marathon. And I was at Abingdon Marathon. It was a really good course. It's very flat and very fast. It was absolutely hammering it down when we started at 9 o'clock. But then the sun came out after 18 miles, which was fantastic. So it was a nice route and I really enjoyed it. A nice crowd, nice group of people, quite a few runners out there yesterday. And I finished it in 3:48, I think just over 3:48, which was quite a good time for me. Not a personal best, but good time for me. I was just happy to run my 49th marathon, and I'm ready now to do my 50th in November. So Abingdon was great. I hadn't run that marathon before, so it was new to me. And how I felt yesterday, I was because I've done quite a few marathons this year, and I did Berlin a few weeks ago. I think my legs were still tired, so I sort of got to about 18 miles, and I was doing a good pace. But then I sort of dropped off the pace a little bit. So I was probably on for a 3:40 pace, but it dropped off in the last few miles. But I managed to hang in there, keep running, and got to the end. And it was a great atmosphere and a great run. So I really enjoyed it. I'm really pleased.
Fantastic. I mean, that's a good time on any day, particularly with another marathon in your legs. And as we always say on Running Tales, any marathon finished is a good time. It was your 49th though, and you mentioned your 50th coming, and people generally don't do that many marathons without having a reason behind it. So I just wondered what your reason is.
Wow, so it's quite a long story. So I started running in 2015, just by luck, really. I was really ill. Prior to 2015, I was really ill. I put on loads of weight. Since I was about 20, I'd really put on a lot of weight. I smashed my heel when I was 20, when I was at university. I jumped off a wall. I landed on my heel. It smashed. I had to have my ankle rebuilt, and I suffered with that for many years, as in being able to walk. Anytime I do any physical exercise, swell up, and I couldn't really walk. So I had a lot of pain, and I suffered with that for a number. I was eating excessively. I was drinking too much. I was really, really unhealthy. So, and that sort of went on. I got married, and that carried on. It was a very good life for me. But then it got to a stage where I was quite poorly. At the end of 2013, I ended up in hospital. So I caught a virus. My immune system didn't work properly, and I ended up in hospital with pneumonia. I had this chest infection called an empyema, was an infection in my body, and my immune system was not working. It wasn't getting rid of the infection. So the virus attacked me, and it was attacking me, and my organs were slowly breaking down, and antibiotics weren't working. In the end, I had to have life-saving surgery. So they actually had to cut me open and remove the infection, and then I started turning the corner, and I started getting better. But at that time, my children were really young as well. I was not in a good place with my health. It shocked me a little bit because when I was at work at the time, I had quite a stressful job. So I was working quite long hours, and there's a lot of stress involved. And I remember one day I walked up to a manager's office, and he was up on the first floor. And I walked up to his office, and I was slightly late for I think it was a meeting, and I was slightly late for a meeting, and I walked in there. And my manager said to me, and I was out of breath. I was physically out of breath, just walking up one flight of stairs. And I sat down in his office, and I was sweating. And I was out of breath. He said, Damian, you've got to do something about your life. He says, I'm 50, and I've got friends and colleagues around me who are passing away with illness. And if you keep going the way you're going, then unfortunately it's not going to be it's not going to be a good life for you. So you should really start looking after yourself a bit more and think about your health. That really shocked me, for my manager to say that to me at the time, who I really respect, and that really sort of shocked me. And that was the start of it, really, just by walking up a flight of stairs and being out of breath. And then I ended up in hospitals very poorly. I started off in Gloucester Hospital, then ended up in Bristol Infirmary, and my wife had to come and visit me every day. Ended up 3 weeks in hospital. And I came out of hospital. I said, right, I've got to do something about this. I really need to do something. So usual thing, I got myself better. I was better after a few weeks. I got back to work. I just changed jobs as well at the time. So I was just in a different job, which was nice, a good, exciting new challenge with a job. So I thought I got to really sort of change my lifestyle. And I started going to the gym, and I'd go to the gym. I'd last go to the gym maybe twice a week for a few weeks. Then I'd get a cold and find an excuse not to go. And this sort of went on during 2014. And yeah, it wasn't really working for me. The gym didn't really work. I didn't really enjoy it. And then my brother-in-law said to me, said, "Oh yeah, there's this thing at the running club called Walk to Run, and it starts in January in the winter." And I'm like, and he says, "Why don't you do it with me?" And I said, "No, I can't do that. I've got a bad ankle. I smashed my heel when I was 20. I can't walk, let alone run." So he said, "Well, no, you should give it a go." He says it's for beginners and you build it up slowly. And my ankle at the time wasn't too bad. It sort of, I knew how to manage the pain and all that sort of thing. So I joined the running club, and I ended up turning up. Well, I joined it and joined this Walk to Run program. I think it was in week 3. When I found out that about this Walk to Run, it was full. It was already full, and they said to me, "Oh, sorry, we're full." And I said, "That's not a problem. Put me on next year." I said, "Put me on next year's program," because I didn't really genuinely believe I could do it. So anyway, 2 weeks into the program, there's a few people drop out. And they called me and said, come and join us on Tuesday. You can join the beginners group." And I'm like, I've never done running before. I don't even know if I've got the right attire. They said, "Just turn up with what you've got, and we'll see how it goes." So I turned up at Jersey Running Club in January 2015 with my jogging bottoms, I support Gloucester Rugby, so I'm a Gloucester Rugby top, and I didn't even own a pair of trainers. I owned a pair of Merrell's walking shoes, really, that I turned up in. And I turned up, and they said, "Right, we're going to go out and do this, that walk running. We're going to walk for a minute, and then we're going to run for a minute. Walk for a minute, run for a minute, and we're going to do that just 10 times." I said, "Okay, we'll give it a go." I've never ran before. They said, "Don't worry, we'll look after you." And the run leaders were absolutely amazing. They looked after me, they supported me, they guided me. They said, "Oh, you're not the first person who's been here before, who's overweight and who's never ran before, but you just got the trick is to build it up slowly." So I went the first week, and I came back from that session absolutely buzzing. I thought, this is amazing. There was like-minded people, as in my group with a very beginners group. It was all ladies, and it was myself, and they were such nice people, and they were all just trying to do it, and we sort of formed a really nice bond. And anyway, I turned up the second week. I did it again, really enjoyed it. The third week, turned up again, and obviously that you progress every week. And then the run leader will say to you, "Okay, well, now you need to start thinking about homework and doing some homework exercises. You need to go out on your own and go out with the group another time during the week as well. Make it twice a week." So then I started Sunday mornings going down to the local canal early morning, so no one could see me, because I was really embarrassed. I was embarrassed with my weight. I was embarrassed that I was unhealthy. I was embarrassed that I would even contemplate running. So anyway, this went on for like 12 weeks. I made some new friends, and I got to the end of the Walk to Run program by doing a park run. And all the Walk to Runners came and did it, but also all the running club came along as well. And they ran with us, they supported us, they were chatting to us, they were encouraging us. And at the end of that at the end of that park run, I felt absolutely amazing. And I thought, what an absolutely amazing thing to do. I hadn't lost much weight by then. I was just building up gradually. But then they said, "Right, now that you've done the Walk to Run, you can join the running club with the beginners group." So that's what I did. I joined the beginners group, and I sort of worked my way up the groups, and that was 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago, 2015. So
and before you knew it, it was marathons and whatever on the table.
Yeah, so that just came by chance, really. So again, all the fault of the running club, Jersey Running Club. So I started training with Rachel, and we started building up our distance, and we did I think I did my first ever 10K with Rachel in the September of that year at Cirencester, and we did Stroud Half Marathon in 2015, and that was the first time we ran it all together. And we did that in quite a respectable time, 27, which was really, really good. So we were very pleased with that. And we carried on going. London Marathon, obviously in 2016. during that time, I think in the summer holidays, I went on holiday and I thought, I wonder about this marathon lark. And I read a book by a lady called Lisa Jackson called Your Pace or Mine. And it was about fun of running. And she loves running marathon in the back, and she wears a tutu skirt, and it's all about having fun. And running is fun. And I thought, I'd love to do more than one marathon. And she was running hundreds of marathons. I thought, oh, that's absolutely amazing. So I thought, right, okay, maybe I'll set myself a challenge to run a marathon. As Rachel was doing London in the April, then I put myself down to do a marathon. I think it was in May, actually, May 2016, which was my first marathon, which was in Worcester. I did Worcester Marathon for the first time in 2016. It was amazing. I loved the training to get there. I loved that I had a target to do. I loved absolutely running, and by then running had changed my life. I am healthier. I just all the benefits of running. I found, like, for mental health, for getting stress relief, getting outside into fresh air rather than sitting on the couch and watching telly. And the really good thing was my ankle actually coped with it. As I was losing weight, it was less impact on my foot, and my foot is actually not too bad. I obviously on a damp day I can feel a bit of pain, but I don't get that inflammation that I used to get. It's amazing how this running has helped. I cannot even contemplate how that's happened. I've always say, I'll just go for as long as I can, and I will keep doing it as long as I can. And so far, I've been very lucky. I've been lucky to manage my injuries, and my joints are holding out. And yeah, I tend to mix up my running, some fast runnings, a lot of easy running, a lot of trail running. I do love trail running. Where I live in the Cotswolds, it's fantastic, fantastic for trail running. We have some really, really nice trails. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a lovely place to live, and the runs around here where I live in Dursley are really nice. And I've obviously met a wonderful group of people being part of Dursley Running Club. They're amazing. And what is really good is that I've actually got integrated into Dursley Running Club now. That they know my story. They've seen me improve and do these marathons over the years, and now I'm trying to help them. I'm on the senior committee, so I'm the chair of the senior committee now, and also I run the Walk to Run program, and that gives me so much satisfaction. So for the last few years, I've ran it, and I've got a team of run leaders, and we have 3 groups. And I can't believe that it's still oversubscribed every year. I'm thinking we must have saturated the market. We must have saturated the whole of Dursley and around.
Surely everyone's running by now.
It's quite a few, yeah. And there's no obligation. You don't have to pay anything. It's free. You turn up on Tuesday at 6:00, and you do a session. And the sessions are prescribed, as in we know where we want to start. And then based on how that group get on, then we set the following week's program. And then they do a homework run as well. And it's amazing. It just gets all these people together, like 30 to 40 people together, once a year. We always do it in January, in the toughest time to train, January to March. You do the park run, and then after you've got the spring and the nicer weather where you can just continue with this as a hobby. Not everyone carries on. Some people just like the 12 weeks, and that's fine. They've met their goals there. And then there's no commitment. But if people want to stay on and they want to join the running club, they're welcome to. It's entirely up to them. But we do it as volunteers, and we get so much satisfaction. And the running club members, leaders, everyone gets so much satisfaction. They all support the Walk to Run program. So it's really, really popular, which is great to see.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic that you're able to give back and give others the opportunity to kind of gain from exactly what you've gained from. Why do you think it is that running has this massive effect on people and can really turn people's lives around in that way?
I don't know. There's so many people doing all these amazing challenges. It just gives you I absolutely love it. I look forward to my next run. I always look forward to it. It gives me such really good endorphins. It makes me feel better. It gets me out of the day-to-day stresses. Everyone's got problems. Everyone's got worries. You watch the television, you watch the news, and it's stressful. And cost of living crisis. It's everywhere. And bereavement, illnesses. It's everywhere. And running just is a release. It just gives you a break from all of that for a period of time, and you can just go out there. You can push hard, or you can not push hard. You can go with a friend. You can go with someone else, or you can go on your own. You can listen to music. It's just a release from the day-to-day grind, and that's just not running, but it's just exercise in general. Because I also cycle to and from work, sometimes. And I find that 45 minutes cycling home just clears my head. So when I get home, I'm focused on, on home stuff. I've not still got work going on going on in the background. I've got that work mentality out of my head, and I'm now focusing on the evening and my two children. I've got two boys and my wife and my family and my parents, and you can, I find it gives you that break from day-to-day stresses. And yeah, it has changed my life. And people think they can't do it. They cannot run. I can't run. I got bad knees. You hear it all the time. I got bad knees. I'm unfit. I can't run. Everyone can run. Even people with bad knees, you can run. It just depends what you want out of it and what goals you want to set yourself. If you want to be Eliud Kipchoge, that's probably an unachievable target. You just want to get out there and go for a gentle run on a gentle, fast walk on the canal, on the local canal path. You can do it even if you do suffer with illnesses, with bad knees or whatever it is. But explaining that to people is very difficult. And I found it by chance, and it's changed my life. And I know people are bored of me, my friends and my colleagues and my family are bored of me talking about running all the time. But it is absolutely amazing.
Well, one thing we say on Running Tales is it's just a great chance for all us people out there who bore all our friends and family with running to be able to talk about it to our heart's content. But the other thing I wanted to ask you is, I think that running has actually made you a record holder as well. Is that right?
Not quite. I tried the record. I tried that. So last year, my fifth London. So I've been very fortunate to be able to do London Marathon 5 times. Okay, and I thought last year would be my last time because it's so difficult to do it, to get on the ballot. I know today is ballot day, and I have got an email in my inbox saying this is your result, but every time I click on it, it doesn't work.
I had that, but I've just managed to do it, and just before we started, but sadly it's a no. But hopefully you'll be a yes.
My no doubt will be a rejection. But I did it. I've done it for charity. I did it for the British Lung Foundation for so many years. So I thought the 5th year, I just can't keep asking the same people for the same amount of money. I've got to do something different. So I ran London last year in an ice cream costume, and it was absolutely amazing. I had the BBC phone me up. I had the BBC come to my house to film me running in my ice cream costume on the local recreational field. It was phenomenal. Just the BBC latched onto my story, and I was trying to break a world record, and my ill health. And then, and I was running it for the British Lung Foundation, now called Asthma and Lung UK. That they did a press release, and it was phenomenal. That weekend was just an absolute blur, but it was brilliant. A great experience. I raised loads of money. I think all in all, I've raised £12,000 for the British Lung Foundation, but I had to get under a time of 4 hours 30 minutes, and I got in at 4:33. I tried my hardest, but and I ran all of it, but in that costume, I couldn't do any more on that day. So, I did it in 4:33, which I was quite pleased with that I finished it. I was so close to the record, but the costume is still in the loft. I've sealed it up. I've got it in the loft, and it might make another appearance one day. It might not be at London, but it might make an appearance another day, so I actually get the record. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that would be, if you can have another crack at that would be great. But in the meantime, a time of 4:33 in a costume like that is pretty good, and B, even if you're not the first fastest, you're still number 2, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It was all about the fundraising that weekend, and I raised loads of money, and also I'm sharing my story with people, and I'm sharing about the charity and all the good work the charity do. So I was really pleased with the outcome, apart from the world record. So so I was interviewed on the news on the Monday evening, and they interviewed 2 people. I was one of them. How do we get on at the London Marathon? And the other lady, there was a lady, and she broke the record. As a fast lady in her pajamas. My pajamas were silk pajamas. I had this massive costume on. Fair play to her. She broke the record, so well done to her. I didn't get the record, so that was the news piece for the Monday evening, and that was it. Then the costume went in the loft, and it's been put away for a rainy day or another day, let's say.
I think as well you're doing some running on behalf of those in Ukraine to help the situation out there.
Yeah, unbelievable. The 24th of February this year, when it was all coming and what was happening with the invasion of Ukraine, I felt so sad for these people that were suffering. Their homes were being blown up and their livelihoods, the whole country, it was an absolute tatters. Just, it was horrible, and it is still horrible. and it's still going on. So I'm still running. Yes, I've been raising money. It's for charities for the Dec humanitarian crisis. I'm trying to raise £1 for every mile that I do. Okay, so I've so far raised over £600. I haven't met my target yet, but that's okay because I'm going to get some help. The company that I work for are gonna sponsor me at some point, so that's good. So I know that I will be able to top up my target. But I've currently done 1,200 and about 1,240 miles. It's 240 days since the war started, I think. And every mile I run, I log and I record it against this charity. So and I want to keep going for the rest of the year really, and raise and end up raising however many miles I log for the Dec humanitarian crisis. But it's out of the news at the minute. Well, it's sort of in the background of the news, but it is absolutely awful, and I really cannot comprehend what's happening to these people and the suffering they're going through, especially with us living in England, and our problem. We think our problems are bad, but the problems in Ukraine are much worse. Poor people. They haven't got water at the minute. They've got running water. They didn't have running water yesterday, and it's just crazy. And all the power plants are being blown up, so they're not going to have power and electricity and all the main services that we take for granted every day. It is awful, and I really want to do what I can to help these people, or at least raise awareness and make sure that Ukraine still stays in the spotlight until it reaches a satisfactory conclusion, and Ukraine can move on and rebuild. Very, very sad, but hopefully it will come good in the end.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic cause, and I wish you all the best of luck. And we'll definitely make sure for anyone interested in helping you out and sponsoring you that we put all the relevant links in the show notes for this, so they can head along and do that. I guess the other thing that I'm thinking, speaking to you, is that there's been a lot achieved already. 49 marathons, turned your life around, helping other people. What's kind of next? So at number 50 marathon, first of all, but are you hoping to go on maybe to the 100 marathon club, or what other aims have you got in the back of your head right now?
So that is my ultimate aim, the 100 marathons. That's what I want to do. So I'm currently 45, 5 years till I'm 50. I figure if I do 10 marathons a year, then I can get to 100, and that's what that is my ultimate aim. I want to join the 100 marathon club. I think that's a really good club to join, and that'd be an amazing achievement for me. So that is my ultimate aim. I just want to keep running. I want to keep promoting running. I want to make sure the running club moves forward. I want to keep supporting people in their journeys as well, and just be part of that amazing family that we all are, the runners. And we're all like-minded people. We all respect each other. Everyone's different. It doesn't matter. It's not all about the times. It's about actually doing it. And when I joined Strava, I thought, right, I'm going to give everyone kudos because they've got out there and done that today, so they deserve kudos. And that's how I work. I love to hear people's stories. I love to hear people's journeys. I love to see, I love to celebrate people's amazing performances, things that they're really proud of, whatever that is. Like yesterday there was a local half marathon in Stroud, and a number of our running club got personal bests, some amazing times. So you just need to celebrate all of that, and also, there were some, it could have been a really fast time, or not so much a fast time, but that is still a celebration. The fact that they got a personal best is a celebration. So I want to celebrate that. I've made some amazing friends through this journey in the last 7 years. I made some really amazing friends, and I want to give back some of what the benefits that I've got from that to the group, to the next generation of runners. And I want to keep doing crazy things. So I keep looking at the marathons, and I'm looking at what comes up next year, and I try to do some different ones. So I've picked a couple to do next year. I'm also looking to do Ironman. I've done Ironman before because there's a marathon in Ironman, right? So I figure that's one of my 100 marathons. So I'm looking to do Ironman in Wales next September. So I've signed up for it. So I just need to do some more training on the swimming and the cycling side of it, but keep the running going. And that'll be one of my big challenges next year. Running, they're doing the Ironman in Wales because it's one of they say it's the toughest one on the circuit, but we'll see. I'll find out next September.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. And just to finish off, I mean, it's probably a really obvious question considering what you've just been talking about in terms of doing an Ironman, doing all those marathons, having all those other targets. But I'm assuming now that your health is 100 times better than it was, and that you'd put that all down entirely to running.
Exactly that. I lost 7 stone. I think my resting heart rate before I was poorly, or during when I was poorly, was about 100 beats per minute. Just
Wow.
rest. It was really high because I'd measure it, and then when I was in hospital, it was being measured again, and it was always over 100. And that's not right. To have that every day, your heart putting that much effort in for actually physically doing it, nothing is not right. So my heart rate is lowered. So you have one of these health checks at work, right? And it checks all these things, and it says your life expectancy is this or whatever, or you have your body is the age of whatever. And when I had it done, when I was of ill health, it was not very good reading. It was all red, and it was all, you need to do this. Cholesterol was too high, your weight's too high, your BMI is too, all this sort of stuff. It's all too high. But now it's all fine. It's all green, and I'm really happy. And I've got 2 young kids. They're still young. My eldest is 12, and my youngest is 10. But now I go to football matches, and I can join in, and I can go out with my kids. I can go out running with them. I can go out play football with them. So, that was just one of my objectives of getting healthier, and I feel 100 times better now. I just got to maintain it and just keep maintaining it, and not slip back into my old ways.
Oh, it doesn't sound like you're going to, and it sounds like you're going to help a load of other people to avoid going down that route as well. So that's absolutely fantastic. I wish you all the best in the world with everything you're doing, particularly with the fundraising at the moment. And Damian, thank you so much for joining us on Running Tales.
Thank you very much, Craig, and it's great to speak to you, and good luck with your podcast. That is brilliant, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed listening to Damian's story as much as I did. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Running Tales. If you like what we do, please follow us on Facebook. Our page is called Running Tales, or on Twitter at Running Tales Pod. We'd also really appreciate it if you could leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple and Spotify, anywhere else. Those reviews make more people find the podcast and listen to the wonderful stories of the people we have on there. That's all for this week, and we look forward to seeing you on next week's Running Tales podcast.